This scenario right here really helped me. I worked over a decade in the ICU during the height of my over a decade long marriage. And through both experiences, it taught me a lot of life lessons that sometimes I like to relate to or use as a ways to bounce off real life experiences. So, Gina Tremacy here, by the way, your favorite psych nurse practitioner. If I'm not, please let me be your favorite psych nurse practitioner. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow me on YouTube for more videos like this around toxic relationships, recognizing red flags, how to heal, how to move forward from separation, divorce, how to find true self, true happiness, all that good stuff, and all the mishmush in between. So in the ICU, when a patient is really going downhill, right? The patient is crashing, the alarms are going off, you need to call the code, right? You need to be in that moment. It's not now time. You're gonna freak out. I've seen a lot of newer nurses. Oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? It's like, oh my God. Okay, hold it together. Okay, patient's crashing. We're not gonna start here now for like what happened? Who did it? What did the shift before do? Something right at change of shift. Right at change of shift where you're taking, getting notes, getting report is when something go like, oh my God, why now? I need to go home on time. Like, no, patient's crashing. So you breathe, you take a pause, hey, and you put your mind together. You call the code, you call the team, you start if it needs it. Put the oxygen on that patient. Don't forget that part. Put the the put the flat thing. I want to. It's been a while. Put it on the bed. So when you're doing CPR, it's effective CPR. It can just be any type of CPR, right? It's gotta be effective, and it takes a team that will take turns, and everybody takes their roles because it's already been kind of talked about in huddle over time. That's why we have those yearly check-ins and reviews to make sure all those skills are staying up to par. So you call, the team comes in with the meds, with the brain, all the different, team members, the doctors come, the respiratory therapists come, the phlebotomists come, the nurses aide come, the bunch of nurses who already know they're on the team come. The same thing applies to life, right? So wait, I'll get there. So all this stuff is going on. A lot of times the patient will be rescued, be stabilized. They'll put them on life support. Then at that point, you hand off, you give report to the nurse who takes over that patient. And then you do, critical stuff stop happening to get the patient to their baseline again. And then after that, they might stay in ICU for however long, whatever the condition is, whatever the acuteness is. And they might go down to step down. There have been some cases where they go from ICU straight home, maybe from ICU to step down before going to rehab, before they're going home, because a lot had happened. The trauma was a lot. Same with life, right? Something happens. There is always some type of solution. Well, anyway, in that scenario, there's sometimes where people have lost their lives. They couldn't make it even after all those life-saving scenarios come to play. They still go because their time is that time. So that's the life we live. That time be that time. When it's not your time, it's not your time. But the key is when something is happening, right? Shit is going down. This is not the time to lose your mind. Because life be happening. Do you know how many times I've gone through codes in the ICU, in the ER? It happens so many times. And until you've been there, you just don't know how that affects you. I'm out there and still telling the stories so you know how traumatic that can be, even for us providers. So recognizing, one, your inner turmoil. So when you can, in that setting where something is happening, it's like crazy. What are the stuff you're telling yourself in the inner self in order to over whatever the hump happens? You can find yourself again. You can find joy, you can find happiness, you can find your inner core. What are you telling yourself? You're like, okay, I was terrible nurse. Maybe if I had done this and that, that would not have happened to that person. Or maybe I sucked and maybe I should not be a nurse anymore. Maybe da 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 da. You're telling all this stuff in your head. You are not gonna show up your best self to that scenario. So be mindful about how negative you get with yourself and how your negativity is overflowing to people around you, your people close to you, your work relationships. It just to become it's on you. Like it's now like it's on you. That inner da 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 negativity is just on you so much. It shows up anywhere. So that's why you have to recognize that once it's going down. How do you hold yourself together? Look for the team. Call for assistance. Call for help. Nobody ain't gonna know if you don't call the code red. Like shit is going on. Please help me. Like if I'm not like I'll be calling for help, asking, texting, calling, emailing. Like I can't. This is too much. How can I? If that person cannot help me, the other team members will help me. So don't be quiet and be mindful of what you're telling yourself in the inner when things are going south in your life. Call your team. Have you done the huddle? Do you find your team? Do you know your team are? It could be a team of one person or two people, like in actual real life. But you gotta have that backup. Maybe your therapist, maybe a friend and a therapist, maybe a pastor. You gotta have that. No, getting angry at the situation is gonna help. Like, what is this happening? You're angry. Like, I need to go home. No, your patient is going. You haven't hand off yet, so you cannot be angry. Anger is a health problem actually, because harboring anger, like for me, for example, anger is not one thing I'll harbor within me. Resentment is nothing I'll harbor. I'll go to therapy. I will talk about it with a trusted friend. I will seek some type of perspective from somebody who might be somebody who is safe. If they can't give me the answer, go to the next. Instead of being angry and resentful about what's going on or why this, all the whys are not going to give you the answer. Okay? So that's number 2. Anger is a health problem. Anger can only give you high blood pressure, obesity, autoimmune disorders, wrinkles early, dementia, all this stuff. Okay? So don't harbor anger because you have that problem. Focus on the now. Look at your feet. Look at your feet right now. Look. The now. Where's your feet? It's here. Now. So you look down at your feet if you can. Center yourself. Focus on the now. You can't look backwards like, what happened? How did that thing happen to that patient? You can't look to the future. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my job. They're going to go fire me. Okay, they fire you. So then what? There's always a solution. There's always a solution. By focusing on your feet, look at your feet right now and focus on the here and now. Even the therapeutic space, we say that. Focus on the here and now. That nurse will have to focus on the here and the now. In the psychiatric world, we say the same thing. What is facing you right now? How can you find solution? How can you find your team? Stop worrying about tomorrow or the past. Find partners, number 4. And I'll go to number 5 real quickly because I'm like good, getting to 10 minutes. Find partners that do not make your vulnerabilities worse. Like people who say, oh my God, what did you do wrong? Oh my God, you suck. You're a terrible person. Because of the witches in your household, this is why this is happening to you. Because of this and that and the third, this is why this is happening to you. No, you got to distance yourself from people like that who will perpetrate your vulnerabilities even more, especially those people who are close to you. Watch for them. Number 5 and last is make an impact on and find your purpose. Even if it's not huge in your eyes, you impact one person, you have done your job. So, okay, bye.